Hello everyone and welcome back to Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Dual Destinies. Oh, right, I forgot to mention Phoenix Wright, registered trademark, Ace Attorney, registered trademark. Sorry, forgot about that. Last time, a mansion owner who happens to be a pro wrestler, shock of all shocks, is found murdered. Well, murdered. Sorry. And the culprit is, well, the mayor of a town called Tenma Town. And anyways, we've also learned that the perceived mechanic can now be done out of court, not just in court. Alright, so let the trial of Damian Tenma begin. And we are about to be introduced to a new prosecutor. Here we go. Oh, right. I always keep forgetting to load my save file. Alright. Here we go this time. Lowering volume. And now we are back at the good old court lobby. Alright, here we go. I can skip all this if I want to. You okay, Athena? You've been really antsy ever since we got here. Sorry, I was about to say the rhyme. I kind of held myself back from saying that. All right, I'm just excited. This is my real court case after all. Yeah, a real ball of excitement she is. I know just what she means. Athena, didn't you ever learn about indoor and outdoor voices? I'm just trying to show you the best way to relieve your pre-trial jitters. Excuse me 1 second. Sorry about that. Alright, so, sneezing by the way. It always gets me. Let's see. By scaring the daylights out of me? No, I find that shouting "I'm fine" in a loud voice really relieves stress. It's a part of my Cords of Steel voice workout and a must before every trial. You want me to shout? Here? That's right. Here, I'll go first. Then you try. I'm Apollo Justice, and I'm fine. Alright, I'm Athena Sykes, and I'm fine. I think that actually worked. Well, I mean, when it comes to trials, you can't be nervous, you know? I thought it might help. Always works for me. An old friend of mine from junior high and I say it all the time. Wait, a friend? An old friend of mine from junior high, and I say it all the time. I wonder who this friend is. I see. A proven remedy to calm the soul. I like it. Hey, how about we finish off with a race around the courthouse? The point is to relieve stress, not get totally exhausted. What's with all the racket, you two? Mr. Wright. just a little voice workout. Hey, what's with the suit? Oh, this? I was thinking about getting my attorney's badge back. That's all. That's all? That's huge news, but why now? I have a feeling I'll be needed in the courtroom again sometime. But we can talk about that another time. No fair! Inquiring minds? Oh, I want to know. But wow. I'm so used to him in his usual laid-back clothes. Yeah. I refer you to my playthrough of Apollo Justice Ace Attorney. This was his main attire. for the entire game. And now we're back to present time. Present day. That suit makes him look like $1 million. By the way, have you heard about the prosecutor assigned to this case? Yeah, he's serving time. But before that, he was a prosecutor. He also uses psychology. That's right. I've heard the rumors about how he was back before his conviction, using the power of suggestion. He could make even the most stalwart the defendants confess. Psychology in the courtroom. Been hearing a lot about that lately. So he must be a pretty scary guy. Well, if you see the cover of the game, then well, I'm talking about the actual. Oh wait, I forgot. I don't think this game was released in physical form for the 3DS. I think it was digital only. But there was the cover though. But yeah, if you see the cover art, you'll know exactly how he looks like. So he must be a pretty scary guy, considering he's a prison inmate and all. So they say. They also say he'll cut you down if you talk too much. I knew he was gonna be bad news. It's probably just hyperbole. At least I hope for your sake. Wait, so is it true or not? Let's just say you should be concise and choose your words carefully. If you'd like to keep that head of yours attached to the rest of your body, that is. Yikes. Better to tone down my cords of steel too. So, are you all ready? It might be a good idea to check the court record again before stepping into the ring. Right, Mr. Wright, but I'm fine. I'll be watching from the gallery. Good luck. Thanks. Okay, let's do this. The odds of pulling this off are ridiculously low, but that's nothing new. Believe in our client. Seek for truth. That's all we can do. Hang in there, Mayor Tenma. Here comes justice. Alright. A bottle of water at the ready, which I forgot to say at the beginning intro, so. It helps. Alright. We are now about to enter the courtroom. Court is now in session. All rise. And take a seat. Court is now in session for the trial of Damian Tenma. Apollo Justice, the defense team leader, is ready, Your Honor. I'd know that big booming voice anywhere. As chipper as ever, Mr. Justice. But who is this young lady next to you? I'm Athena Sykes. Mr. Justice is a junior partner and fresh out of law school. Well now, full of beans too, eh? Excellent. Makes an old man feel young again. Now, for the prosecution. It appears the prosecution is not ready yet. Never fear, for I shall explain. It's just a minor procedural complication, Your Honor. The prosecutor for this case is being escorted from prison as we speak. Prison? Oh, yes, of course. I almost forgot that he is currently serving time. Cutscene time.
Yup, Prosecutor Blackwell's an inmate. but even a convicted murderer still got a job to do and duties to perform.
And if I remember correctly, Detective Fulbright is voiced by Kyle Haybear. But just as an in case, if I'm right, I'll put it up on screen. Because it does sound like Kyle Haybear doing the voice of Fulbright, so not quite sure. Like I said, I'll put it up on screen and let y'all know if it's true or not. But anyways, we are introduced to a new prosecutor, Simon Blackwell, a prison inmate serving time, but he's also a very experienced prosecutor. But right now, I'll just call him question mark. And his first words are ... Who's that with his... Sorry, who's that with his back to us over there? That's him. I'm sure of it. Prosecutor Blackwell. Is the prosecution ready? Enough jabbering. Get on with it already. Of course. Forgive me. Why are all the people related to this case so scary? Very well. Prosecutor Blackwell, your opening statement. What's the matter? Must we continue to further away at a time like this? It is all right here in the indictment. An opening statement would be pointless. Pointless? Oh, well. Looks like the cat, or in this case, the prosecutor, has the judge's tongue. But we need an opening statement as an overview of the case at hand. Well then, your baldness. If it is so very important, why don't you do the honors? Who, me? There's a term for people who whine and fuss about how they need silly, useless things, and then decide they no longer want them once it's theirs. A selfish old fool. Huh? Wait, was that the prosecution's opening statement? Old daughters such as you are a plague upon the young. I pity your poor grandchildren, or is it great-grandchildren? All these years, I thought the opening statement was the prosecutor's job. But I suppose I could give it a try. Might be nice of a change of pace. What? He actually fell for that? That must have been the power of a suggestion Mr. Wright was talking about. The opening statement, huh? Let's see here. The victim was one Rex Cuby, alderman of Ninetails Vale. And the defendant, Damian Tenma, mayor of Tenma Town, is accused of his murder. And why, pray tell, was the mayor arrested? His prints were on the murder weapon. Plus, he had a motive. The elimination of the biggest roadblock to the municipal merger. The caretaker and the secretary, other potential suspects, both have alibis. And his daughter, who was also in the vicinity at the time of the incident, has no motive. So, in a nutshell, I'd have to say the charges against the defendant are incontrovertible. Bravo, your baldness. Your years of experience shine bright like your head. Flattery will get you everywhere. He's plain, Simon says, with the judge. Moving right along now, let's hear from our first witness for today, Detective Fulbright. Witness, please state your name and occupation. I am the detective assigned to this case, Bobby Fulbright. Oh, and I'll also keep I'll be keeping tabs on old Blackwell here. I also heard. I also heard you would provide protection if it ever came to that. It would seem I have been sorely underestimated. Wait, who's protecting who from what? Still, I truly believe anyone can turn their life around. Oh! Fulbright, save your platitudes for funerals. Get on with your statement. That's the spirit. Justice must be swift and true. I see it in your eyes. There is hope for your rehabilitation and return to society. Oh, sorry, this is Fulbright. I will never give up on you. Prosecutor Blackwell doesn't seem to be intimidated. He seems to intimidate Detective Fulbright. Well, you know what they say, ignorance is a bliss. Is bliss, sorry. Oh, so that's why Detective Fulbright was assigned to Blackwell? He's so oblivious. Now, let's have your first statement, Detective Fulbright. You got it. But first, I'd like to say to the defense that justice will ultimately prevail. Alright, here we go. First statement. About the murder. Oh boy, here we go. Alderman Cuby was murdered with a spear that had been on the wall. The fingerprints of the defendant, Damian Tenma, were found on the murder weapon. At the time, Alderman Cuby was asleep from a drug he unwittingly ingested. Mayor Tenma attacked his helpless victim, impaling him like a human shish kebab. But the sudden pain jolted the victim awake, and he grabbed the statue and struck back. Wait. Oh yeah, I'll wait. Because there was something that hasn't been presented yet, but we'll get to that in a bit. Alderman Cuby had been slipped some kind of sleeping-inducing drug? That's right. The accused was scared because the alderman was a former pro wrestler. So he slipped him a drug to make sure he'd be out cold and defenseless. Here's the autopsy report to prove it. Alright, here we go. Well, finally we have what we need here. Cuby's autopsy report. Cause of death, stabbed with a spear. Estimate time of death, around 3:20 p.m. The victim had been in a drug-induced slumber. But what was it? What was also that he said? Well, we're just gonna have to wait until we get back to that testimony. And the victim managed to attack his attacker despite being impaled by a spear? That sounds almost superhuman. Is it even possible? Well, he was a former pro wrestler after all. That spear was probably nothing more than a mosquito bite to him.
Objection!
Not so fast. Don't try to brush it all off by saying the alderman had been a pro wrestler. Do you really expect us to believe he could fight back after being skewered by a spear? And then I've never heard of the incredible feats of which man is capable of in a pinch, have you? Like the samurai of yore, wrestlers can battle through intense pain. It sharpens their senses. I used to talk about it with a former wrestler I met in the clink. I don't know. It still sounds a little far-fetched. Does it now? Then perhaps we should test the theory on you with the edge of my blade. I didn't sign up for this. And so your life is spared. For now. Please let those shackles be made of titanium. I don't want to die. My investigations are as thorough as they are foolproof, or my name isn't Fulbright. I vow to resign immediately if I ever make a false arrest. The accused prints were on the weapon, and he's the one person without an alibi. Quite a decisive evidence. Wouldn't you agree? Your baldness. The defendant is sounding guiltier by the minute. Yes, the judge leaning towards a guilty verdict, and the trial just barely begun. What's more, a curious rumor about the accused is making the rounds. They say he seeks the merger of the. Sorry. They say he seeks the merger for the purpose of freeing Tenma from his imprisonment. Truth be told, I think I can think of no real reason to show interest in that backwards burg. Perhaps he's a complete. Shouldn't it say mutter, not nutter? Anyways, and really does seek to release an imaginary demon. Either way, he is raving mad and more than capable of murdering the alderman. That mayor is a strange one, all right. I heard he went to a blood drive, but instead of donating, he tried to make a withdrawal. Order! There will be no gossiping in my court. Your baldness. Please take a gander at those charms plastered across his cranium. I hear they're meant to keep him safe from possession by the demon Tenma. Then again, perhaps he's already under the demon's spell. Behold, the lunatic appears poised to lunge at you at any moment. The rumors of quirks of Amir Tenma have no relevance to this case. Besides, those charms on his head, they're just a fashion statement, I think. Come to think of it, such things don't seem relevant to this case, to the case, do they? The prosecution will refrain from dragging our client's reputation through the mud. Oh, what a dreadfully fearsome lass we have here. Phew. Thanks for that lifeline, Athena. Careful, Apollo. He has the judge dancing in the palm of his hand. The power of suggestion is one of the more powerful tools in Simon Blackwell's arsenal. He's trying to manipulate everyone's impression to suit his objectives. This guy really is bad news. In any case, it seems the victim did manage to defend himself despite being impaled. What sort of... Oh, sorry. What's sort of weapon did he use against his attacker? None other than this statue right here. It appears to be a statue of two strange creatures locked in battle. Two yokai, to be exact. On one side is the nine-tailed fox, and the other, Tenma Taro. Quite interesting if you think about it. It's as though this very case was rendered in art. Alright, so we get our next piece of evidence, the fox and demon statue. The weapon used to bludgeon the mayor. The mayor's blood was found on it, but no prints could be lifted. Mr. Justice, you may proceed with your cross-examination. Alright, here we go. Cross-examination time. Alright. Where shall we start off with? Let's see. Thankfully, I don't have to, like, reread the whole testimony. I can just, like, skim it if certain statements aren't needed. But let's see. But still, but the sudden pain jolted the victim awake. He grabbed a statue and struck back. But according to the autopsy report... Oh wait, I gotta go all the way back here. Thankfully I'm able to go. It says, cause of death, stabbed with a spear. Estimate time of death around 3:20. The victim had been in a drug-induced slumber. So how do you explain the... So he died of by being skewered with a spear. So what's with this? So why is there blood? I mean, because when you think about it, when that scene, if you saw it in the first part, when he got stabbed, blood splattered all over, and it would have touched, like, it would have splattered on something. So let's present this fox and demon statue here.
Objection!
Did the alderman really strike the mayor? What? Are you questioning my sense of justice? Yes, I am. Your so-called justice needs to find itself a pair of legs to stand on. You claim the alderman struck back after the mayor put a spear through him? But the statue he was supposedly used to defend himself creates a major hole in your theory. It would appear that the defense has a counter-argument. Very well. Let's hear what the defense thinks is odd about a detective's statue theory. There are no fingerprints on it. There are no fingerprints on this supposedly crucial piece of evidence. And if you look at the crime scene photo, you'll notice that the alderman isn't wearing gloves. Yes, I believe he is quite gloveless indeed. If he touched the statue with his bare hands, he should have left some fingerprints. Detective Fulbright, you did take that into account during your investigation, didn't you? This can't be happening. Did I arrest the wrong madman? Well, he did say he would quit. And like I said, I apologize for any slowdown issues. I tried to find like a capable fix, to lower the frame rate to 30 frames per second, but I just couldn't. I couldn't find a way. So apologies for that. During like the 3D movements, like the whole turning 360 degrees, or like attempt to, it slows down for some reason. So apologies for that. You did it, Apollo. You knocked a detective Fulbright off of his horse, well, high horse. Well, it's just one point in our favor. Who do you suppose clubbed the mayor if it wasn't the alderman? Well, if it wasn't the alderman, that means someone else must have clubbed the mayor. You mean there was a third party there in the Fox chamber? Exactly. And this could be the big break. Sorry, the big break we've been looking for. There does seem to be a hole in the prosecution's argument. Prosecutor Blackwell, would you care to respond to the defense's assertion? The least you could do is look at me while being dismissive. Your mind is as dull as an unhoned blade, Justice Dono. Justice Dono? He's been watching way too many samurai flicks. It will take far more than that to cut down Simon Blackwell. A whelp such as you has no hopes against my superior swordsmanship. Why didn't these 3 games get an anime? I want it. I mean, yeah, there's anime cutscenes, but I actually want the actual anime, Season 3 or a Season 4, that kind of thing. This is a trial, not a sword fight. Prosecutor Blackwell. There is a perfectly good explanation for the lack of prints on the statue. You might recall that blood-stained cloth found at the scene of the crime. Well, it just so happens that the blood was the mayor's. So, what are you getting at? Hone your mind, boy. Why was there blood on that cloth? Solve that riddle, and you shall see that the hole you thought you found is but an illusion. Now let's see. How was that cloth used? Was it used? I guess I can go with to wrap the statue? Maybe the alderman wrapped the statue in cloth. In short, he wasn't touching the statue directly when he used it to strike back at the mayor. Precisely. Bully for you, boy. It was nothing. Apollo, don't let him start manipulating you too. You just closed the hole for the prosecution. I did? I did. Right. That a statue wrapped in cloth would leave no fingerprints is as plain as day. But this also proves there are no holes in our theory of the alderman striking back. Oops. Alright, so the fox and demon statue have been updated. Wrapped in a large cloth. 2 pages? Seriously? Now do you see how dull your mind is? I'll make sure to sharpen it next time. A particularly frightening inmate once told me that. He always tenderly honed his blades before he went to work, like the samurai of yore. Samurai? Sounds more like a homicidal maniac to me. Actually, he was working in the prison kitchen at the time. Wait, so the inmate was murdering a samurai prison chef? It would seem that the victim and his killer were the only ones there after all. I was kinda attached to that hole. Now what? Apollo, I just thought of something. If they didn't find anyone's fingerprints on the statue, who's to say someone other than the alderman didn't hit the mayor with it? Why didn't I think of that? Anybody could have not left fingerprints on it. Then who, pray tell, struck the mayor with the statue? Please, illuminate us with your wisdom, young lady. There's only one answer: the real killer. Prove the existence of this real killer, then. What evidence have you? Oh, I'll give you evidence, all right. Athena, are you sure about this? To borrow your words, Apollo? I'm fine. To take a look at this. Black feathers and tracks, allegedly from a yokai, were found at the scene. I believe they're from the third party who struck the mayor with that statue. Is the defense actually suggesting some sort of monster killed that alderman? That's exactly what I'm suggesting.
Objection!
No, Athena, you've just lost what little credibility we had left. Sorry. I guess I got carried away. Mr. Justice, we have no time to deal with objections between members of the defense. Sorry, Your Honor, it's just this kid's still, well, a kid. Ouch. You meanie. I'm reporting this to Mr. Wright. So, is this court to believe the feathers and tracks are from a yokai, as you put it? No, Your Honor. I believe they are a fabrication. The real killer wants us to believe some sort of monster murdered the alderman. Interesting. And why do you suppose the killer would do that? Why indeed? Mr. Justice, you seem as new to this as your partner is. Ouch. This, I'm not reporting to Mr. Wright. Hoy, Fulbright. Explain to his baldness what these brats are missing. You know, the who and why behind those feathers and tracks. What? You mean you can explain all that? Our investigation prowess is without equal. I'm starting to think I chose the wrong profession. Very well. Let's hear about these so-called yokai feathers and tracks. Alright, here we go. Next testimony. Feathers and tracks. Alright, here we go. This entire case centers on one man's attempt to crush opposition to the municipal merger. Mayor Tenma panicked when the amazing Ninetales helped embolden the protesters. So he stoked the villagers' fears by fabricating a monster. The strange feathers and tracks he planted made it look like a yokai was the killer. You don't say now, do you? Alright, so, those feathers and tracks stoked the villagers' fears? Absolutely. He knew exactly how to prey on their superstitious minds. Those feathers only gave way to the idea that the alderman was slain by a demon. The accursed demon Tenma, that is. Tenma who? Tenma, the legendary demon locked away in the village's forbidden chamber. From a young age, the villagers are taught to fear the great black feathered demon, and thus were blinded to other, more plausible explanations. Hold on for a second. Before we start letting our imaginations run wild, isn't there someone else that could be considered a suspect? Mr. Justice, please explain yourself. On the day of the incident, there was a special event held at QB Manor. And as part of this event, there was someone dressed in the likeness of Tenma. Obviously, this person is much more likely suspect than any legendary demon.
Objection.
Dullard, you are playing right into the killer's mind games. What? Listen here. The feathers and tracks were merely red herrings. The villagers believed the murder to be the work of the real Tenma. However, the police believe that the person in the Tenma suit is the killer. The defendant sought to sow this confusion in order to deflect blame away from himself. However, he was knocked unconscious by the alderman, and thus our mentally deficient mayor was caught red-handed at the scene of the crime.
Objection.
Do you honestly believe Mayor Tenma would do something so stupid?
Objection.
The evidence speaks for itself. Fulbright. Right. It was the mayor's last-ditch effort to stop the opposition before things got crazy. The amazing Ninetales was fueling both the yokai craze and the anti-merger movement. Plus, he's one of the better-known masked wrestlers and the hometown favorite. That's why the mayor panicked and set out on the path of injustice. But do people know of the Ninetales Vale really believe a yokai is behind the crime? Yokai sightings are an everyday event there, so I wouldn't be surprised if they did. I must say, a crime that preys upon innocent, impressionable minds. Just so, a particularly silver-tongued inmate once had the following words for me. The innocents of heart are the easiest prey. You don't say. Was this inmate a con artist? No. He was framed for the murder of his beloved. I actually felt sorry for the poor chap. Wait, so he wasn't the predator, rather the prey? Yes, well, now then, the defense may proceed with their cross-examination. Alright, here we go. So it was on the fourth statement that caught my eye. It's something here. It says, the strange feathers and tracks he planted made it look like a yokai was the killer, huh? Let's press on that. But it doesn't add up. If what you say is true, why to top it off with murder? What do you mean? You claim that our client planted the yokai evidence to stoke the villagers' fears. If so, then why not stop there? Why murder Alderman Cubey? Excellent point. It is, isn't it? So, Your Honor agrees there was no reason for the murder, correct?
Objection!
Perhaps the killing was spur of the moment. You're saying it was premeditated? For from the outset, I had no intention of paying heed to any of your babble. However, the fact is, the mayor made a startling discovery. A startling discovery? Why don't I like the sound of that? Alderman Cubey's secret identity. Apollo! I think Prosecutor Blackwell has figured out the Alderman's secret identity. But even if he has, why would it be a motive for the mayor to commit murder? This is not good. This patch of fur was discovered at the crime scene. It's from the mask worn by the amazing Ninetails. Therefore, we can conclude that this mask was at the crime scene. Oh my, but why would it have been there? The victim was a former pro wrestler and a member of the anti-merger movement. Need I say more? Well, could it really be? Your baldness has had an epiphany, I see. Our victim, Rex Cubey, was the amazing Ninetails. And the mayor's discovery of such was his motive for murder. No! Oh, now we see that face. Order! Order! Now, that was what I was waiting for. What a shocking development. A motive clearer than crystal clear? What do we do now, Apollo? I didn't think they tied the Alderman's secret identity to the mayor's motive for murder. At last we've reached my real point. Why did the Alderman have to forge a secret identity? Does it not pique your interest, your baldness? I admit it does. It is odd that he had to create this other persona. Just to secretly participate in the anti-merger movement. Very astute of you, your baldness. Right, now take a look at this. Oh, looks like we have our... Hey, I was trying to read that. Oh, never mind. If you value your dearest life, you will merge Ninetails Vale with Tenma Town. This blackmail... Sorry. This blackmail letter was found in Alderman Cubey's pocket. What? At present, the Alderman's wife is in the hospital. And that a letter is clear evidence the mayor was blackmailing him by threatening her life. Wait, didn't that blackmail letter sent to Mayor Tenma go missing? Right after the Alderman's murder? You think maybe the killer took the letter from the mayor after the murder and planted it into Alderman's pocket? It's possible, but we don't have any proof that that's what happened. Talk about being up the creek without a paddle. Alright, so we get the blackmail letter, which we will see right now. let's have a look-see. Alright, let's switch here. Alright. Let's read it. If you value... sorry. If you value your dearest's life, you will merge Ninetales Vale with Tenma Town. Do not tell anyone about this threat. If you do, consider your dearest as good as dead. Cowardly. Just cowardly. Anyways, Mayor Tenma would have made a clean getaway if he just left after planting the yokai things. But he was knocked out cold by his sudden decision to kill the amazing Ninetales. So, it was the amazing Ninetales' counterattack that brought the entire crime to light. Wait a sec. Fulbright's claiming that the mayor killed the alderman after planting the yokai evidence, and that the mayor was knocked out cold immediately after that. Detective Fulbright, please add your previous statements to your testimony. Alright, new testimony. Mayor Tenma killed the sleeping alderman after planting the feathers and tracks. Let's present that photo.
Objection!
Detective Fulbright, your sense of justice is anything but fair. What's this? You dare question my justice again? Yep. Yes, and I'm going to prove it to you. Take a look at this photo. This is the crime scene photo, and just what does this prove? It proves when the feathers and tracks were planted, but I already told you they were planted before the murder. The defendant planted the yokai evidence, then was knocked out while killing his victim. But that would be impossible. If you look right here, it's clear when the scene... Sorry, when the feathers and tracks were left at the scene. Alright, so what proves the items were only there after the crime? Well, the only thing I can think of is pointing to the feathers of blood here. The feathers where the blood is. Hopefully this is what I'm looking for. Aren't you pointing to the yokai feathers and tracks, Mr. Justice? Yes. See how the feathers are on top of the blood, and the tracks were made in blood? In other words, the yokai evidence could have only resulted after the murder. Then the mayor must have planted the evidence after killing the alderman. But you said it yourself. The mayor had been knocked unconscious thereafter. There would have been no time to plant any evidence at all. Therefore, there must have been someone else besides the mayor and the alderman at the crime scene. There must be some mistake. Order! Order! Well, where's your evidence? You can't possibly have any, can you? Evidence? Oh, I have evidence. In fact, I have an eyewitness's testimony for you. You do? But how? Was my vaunted sense of justice really just half-baked? He's taking this really hard. Mr. Justice, what is this testimony regarding a third party that you claim to have? I have it right here, Your Honor. It's the sworn testimony of Mr. Tenma's daughter. The witness, Jinx Tenma, saw a yokai in the hallway after stumbling upon the scene, It was the demon Tenma. He's the source of the feathers and tracks. Silence. Will somebody please say something? The defense will explain to the court exactly what he means. You dare to mock this court and justice itself? You're unfit to bear your name, boy. Your baldness. It appears our defense attorney here is delirious from exhaustion. Apollo, I think of something quick before you're held in contempt of court. What do you think I'm trying to do? Before you decide whether I should step down, please hear me out. Very well, Mr. Justice. I'm all ears, but you had better explain yourself well. What was this yokai you were talking about? It's all in this statement here. Jinxie Tenma asserts that she saw Tenma Taro. After she discovered the crime scene and called the police, she came out of the corner in the hall. It was around here. That she saw Tenma Taro fleeing toward the foyer. The defense asserts that whoever was impersonating this monster is the one who left those feathers and tracks behind intentionally or otherwise. What? How incredibly unjust! Why haven't I heard about this before? The defense just proved there was someone else. So the mayor isn't the killer? Was it all a setup? The prosecutor is a convicted felon after all? That's a lot to... But just in case if I missed it, let's see. The defense just proved there was someone else? So the mayor isn't the killer? Was it all a setup? Our prosecutor is a convicted felon after all? Let's see, anything else? Nope. All done. Alright, where was I? Apollo, the momentum has shifted in our favor. Good. Now let's keep it that way.
Objection.
Little do you realize that though you are in the midst of a fray, your sword is broken. My sword? I didn't know I had one to break. Are you implying that there's a problem with my claim? Consider this. If that yokai impersonator had indeed fled toward the foyer, that fool and that fop would have seen him. Fool and fop? Oh, you mean Filch and LaBelle? Now that you mention it, both Phineas Filch and Florent LaBelle were in the foyer at the time, but they haven't stated that they saw a yokai, have they? Did you ever consider that yokai was but a figment of a scared little girl's imagination? Why didn't those two see the Tenma Taro impersonator pass by? Why don't we ask them ourselves? I was just about to say that myself. No, really, I was. The defense would like to call Mr. Phineas Filch, a caretaker of the QB Manor, to the stand. I just know he must have seen something. I suppose we can't ignore the fact that a little girl believes she saw a monster. I trust you have no objections to Mr. Justice's request, Prosecutor Blackwell. I understand that Mr. Filch is enjoying a nap out in the lobby. I knew that Tanuki was a rare find. But when we captured him, I didn't think he'd end up a witness. Do with them as you will. Did he just say captured? No, wait. I don't want to know. Very well then. Bailiff, please go wake up Mr. Filch and escort him to the witness stand. Will the witness state his name and occupation, please? My name's Filch. Phineas Filch, caretaker of the QB Manor. Oh, and this is for you, your lordship. Just a little something I thought you might like. Oh my, what a fabulous pair of shoes. And your honor will do just fine, Mr. Filch. It's those shoes again. Don't they belong to Detective Fulbright? Don't tell me Filch stole them again. They're all yours, your honorship, sir. What? They seem awfully expensive. Yep, too expensive for me, but I reckon they'd be perfect for someone like your honorship. It's a kind gesture, but legal ethics dictate I can't accept such gifts. Ethics, schmetics. Just take them if you want. Polish them up real nice for you too. I'm sorry, but about the shoes, Mr. Filch, but I will accept your testimony. The court would like to hear whether you sought Tenma Taro in the for a year after the murder. All right, here we go. Yeah, I had a lot to. Alright, here we go. Guarding the foyer. Here we go. At the time of the murder, I was on guard duty in the foyer, just like Mr. QB asked. I was making sure no one, fair, foul, fishy, or otherwise, could get to our guests. I was still in my office, keeping a good watch when the murder happened after 3 p.m. But I didn't see nothing out of the ordinary. No siree. That yokai you kept jabbering on about was but a phantom of a little girl's dreams. So you're telling this court you never saw anyone dressed up like Tenma Taro? Yep, was guarding the whole time. That's the truth, the holy truth, and nutter butter of the truth. And Tenma Taro, bah, you don't really believe in all that yokai mumbo jumbo, do ya? I certainly don't. Uh-oh. Y'all know that sound. You know what that means. He's doing a little nervous signals here. Oh, excuse me. What happened there with my throat? And this is the first time like he's really looking at his bracelet. So yeah, this is the first time, because in the previous game, like, keep in mind, like, it's they're still images, like, which does sprite work, you know. My bracelet, it's something the matter, Apollo? My bracelet keeps squeezing my arm. Really? So you think Mr. Tanuki, or I mean Filch, has been lying to us? I wouldn't rule it out. Now, if I could just zero in on a tell, some sort of nervous habit. What in the... Well, what's a hawk doing here? Allow me to introduce my trusty cohort, Taka. He seems to have taken quite a liking to the courthouse. Made it his new home, in fact. He doesn't live with you? You know, in jail? Who's ever heard of a courthouse bird? Taka simply loathes trickery and fraud. And that queer power of yours seems to have offended my dear bosom buzzard. This isn't some sort of trick or... I won't be able to spot squat like this. What the heck is going on around here? Run for the hills! No pets and other animals allowed in the courtroom. So yeah, meet Blackwill's pet hawk, Taka. So somebody help! Oh, he's merely having a bit of sport. He won't harm you, save when truly famished. In that case, Prosecutor Blackwill, you will ensure your feathered friend is properly fed. Looks like we'll have to do this the old-fashioned way. We'll be fine, I think. If there was someone dressed as Tenma there, the village would have seen him. We'll just have to put our faith in Jixie's statement now. Mr. Justice, please proceed with your cross-examination. Alright, so we've come to a very, very big problem now. We can't use our bracelet because of that hawk, Taka. He can sense trickery and fraud, was what he says. Basically, he senses that that bracelet has power. And, well, we've been denied that, unfortunately. Which is a big pain. However, let's head towards the third statement. I was still in my office keeping a good watch when the murder happened after 3 p.m., you see. Let's press on that. Did you really keep an eye on the foyer the entire time? Poor old Filchy. I've been working hard my whole life. Oh, excuse me 1 second. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. All right. Poor old Filchy. Been working hard my whole life, only to be smeared by some greenhorn in his fancy schmancy suit and silly haircut. Sorry, Mr. Blackwell, sir. I didn't mean to get off subject there. Sheesh. Blackwell didn't even say anything. To answer your question, yes, I kept an eye. No, both of them, in fact, on the foyer. But I didn't see nothing out of the ordinary. You don't say, huh? You saw nothing out of the ordinary. See, I was making sure no one felt fishy, blah blah blah. What about the fourth one? I didn't see anything out of the ordinary. No sense, no siree. Still in my office, keeping a good watch. Let me press everything. Let's see what happens. Mr. Filch, why did Alderman QB have you handle guard duty? Because he trusts me. I am the manor's caretaker, after all. So you took said guard duty seriously. Let me tell you something about me. I'm... Yipes. Listen here, you little tanuki. Get straight to the point and be quick about it. The court wishes to hear what you did or didn't see in the foyer, and not else. Yes, of course, sir. Right away, sir. Blackwell's got him completely under his thumb. Like I said, I was guarding the foyer entrance that day. Alright, I was making sure no one fair fools, blah blah blah. So no one could get to him. Sounds like security was pretty tight. That's because there's always lots of sneaks and thieves around festival time. And the solution was to entrust the manor's security to a thief? That's not even funny. Maybe it's a matter of stopping thieves by hiring one. After all, it takes one to know one. I don't know. It seems more like letting the fox guard the hen house to me. So the witness testifies he took his guard duty seriously. Yes, sir. Your honorship. Alright. Well, let's redo this again. Did you really keep an eye on the foyer? Yeah, it's basically the same dialogue. Figured as much. Alright. But I didn't see nothing out of the ordinary. Could you describe to the court who you consider fishy looking? Someone all fidgety and shifty, like, you know, like they're about to steal something. He just described himself. I wonder why Mr. Filch didn't see Tenma. Maybe Jinxie only thinks she saw Tenma. Or maybe Mr. Filch is lying. And if he's lying, we might be able to spot a contradiction in his testimony. Alright. This one's a toughie. Let's see, this one is a toughie one here. Says, I was still in my office keeping a good watch when the murder happened after 3 p.m. Wait a minute. I think I remember something now. Let me see what's here. Nope. TV listenings, huh? I was still in my office keeping a good watch when the murder happened after 3 p.m. But during that time, the Tenma Town Pro Wrestling was on. What was on during that time? So he would have been distracted. You would have been distracted by the wrestling show on TV. Let's present this.
Objection!
Don't lie to the court like that, Mr. Filch. Hey, it ain't alright to bushwhack a fella like that. Unfortunately for you, I have evidence that proves you're lying. If you look at this TV listening here, you'll see that at the time of the crime, there was a pro wrestling match scheduled, something you'd never miss. I watched that one. No, siree, I was doing my job just like I was supposed to. This guy doesn't know when to give up. Mr. Filch, someone even circled the match. It was you, right? Yipes! Not only that, you even told me you watched it. You said, and I quote, "It was a complete disaster." Huh? So, do you admit to slacking off? You can't trick me with your Rudy Poo lawyer talk. I'm one of them professional types too. I can do a double duty, watching TV and the foyer at the same time. The only thing Filch can claim to be a professional of is a professional thief. Mr. Justice, you would have this court believe the witness was slacking off? That's correct. He claims to have been watching TV and the foyer at the same time. But that's nothing but a bald-faced lie. Bald, you say? But I'm not the one who's lying. Perhaps you meant the witness, Mr. Justice. That is whom he's talking about, Judge. Not you, but Mr. Filch. And in that case, let's see what evidence you can offer. You claim Mr. Filch is lying about watching TV and the foyer simultaneously. Now prove it. Oh, I'll prove it all right. Let's show him that sketch of the lobby here. Or the diagram, that is. Please take a look at the direction the TV is facing in this diagram. Now, unless Mr. Filch has eyes where his right ear should be, I think it would be impossible to watch the foyer entrance and the TV at the same time. Why, yes. Someone watching TV there couldn't possibly see the entrance. Exactly. And that means Mr. Filch, you were slacking off and were not watching the other foyer as you claim. Yipes! The bag's out of the cat, I mean, the other way around. Order! Order! And order! Sorry. But Mr. Justice, is Mr. Filch less than stellar work ethic relevant to this case? It's very relevant because while he was slacking off watching TV, there really could have been a Tenma impersonator in the foyer. What now? Granted, this Tanuki was lax in his duties, but he still had the other foyer entrance covered. What are you talking about? This. I'm not a mind reader. Auditory sense. His eyes may have been slacking off, but his ears were still at work. Right, Tanuki? Well, they were. I mean, yes. Yes, they were. But you already admitted to slacking off. Now you say you weren't? My eyes might be lazy, but my ears ain't. I would have heard anyone in the foyer. You see, the foyer floor and stairway get all creaky squeaky when someone walks on them. Creak, creak, creak. Loud enough to wake the dead, I reckon. So you're saying you didn't hear anybody walk by? Yep, my ears were working full time. So who's the liar now? You no good shyster? A lying thief calling me a shyster? This has to be the low point of my fledgling career. I gotta hand it to you, Mr. Blackquill, sir. You really are something else. I mean, you don't miss a thing, and them bags under your eyes, they're darker than mine. Fair warning, Mr. Filch. Taka is particularly fond of Tanuki. Should you lie to this court again, you may suddenly find yourself on the menu. Yikes! Please don't eat me, Mr. Taka, sir. The witness will henceforth testify truthfully under penalty of painful bird attacks. And with that in mind, the court requests that the witness revise his testimony accordingly. Alright. Ears working overtime. Oh boy. Here we go. It's true, I was watching a pro wrestling match on the office TV. My eyes, I might have been slacking off, but my ears, they were working overtime. The floor there is all creaky squeaky like, no way I would have missed someone walking by. So you see? Oops, excuse me. I just had my coffee, that's why. There weren't no Tenma in the foyer. It's because normally I do my recordings in the morning. That's why. Superstitious. Sorry. Superstitious in the religion of feeble minds. Understand? A simple, rational explanation is best. Forget yokai, demons, and such. We must use common sense. For lacking that, our entire world would be but upside down. Says the convicted prosecutor, who's totally a sign of the end times for the legal world. And besides, if there were any yokai roaming about, I'd nab them and sell them to the zoo. I wonder whether Jinxie was seeing things. I'm going on a limb here if it was someone in costume or it was a statue. I don't know. But if I have to guess, it has to be a statue. Because something is bothering me here. Let me switch screens. Look at this. Because I don't think it made any it never moved its body or anything. Like it was still stuck in its pose, just in the air. And how this happened, I have no idea. I don't know what I'm talking about, so I'm just going on that theory there. Where was I? That seems to be the general consensus, but I'm sticking to my guns. But if we can't prove she saw Tenma, the mayor sure to be convicted. Then we better hope my guns fire bullets, not BBs. Hey, but BBs can be effective too, you know. They hurt. Small, but they hurt. The defense may now cross-examine the witness. Alright, here we go. Alright, let's see. Let's see. It's true I was watching a pro wrestling match on the TV on the office TV. My eyes might have been slacking off and my ears were working overtime. The floor there's all creaky squeaky like no way I would have missed someone walking by. Unless you had the volume all the way up. But who knows. I'm gonna press here. So you have pretty good ears, Mr. Filch. As good as they come, I'd say. Ain't nothing to hear a creaky floor. Plus, that Mataro makes a sound when he goes by. It's like a jingle jangle. Jingle jangle? How does he do that? If that's... it's that staff of his. That's what a jingle jangles. What's he talking about, Apollo? Basically, what he's talking about is like there's this staff that he has, may or may not have. On top of it, there's these rings that are there, like these bronze or gold or silver rings there. That when he moves that staff, like it jingles like bells, you know, that kind of thing. Is there anything in the evidence that has that? Let's see. According to this, there's no staff. That's a spear. But we never see a staff there. Alright. What's he talking about, Apollo? Beats me, but I guess Tenma has a staff that makes noises. Come to think of it, didn't Jinxie mention something like that too? There you go, like that. Like they have these rings, and like I think it's something used by mythology summoners or something like that. You know, like the ones in fantasy stories. All right. Anyways, she said she saw Tenma holding a staff-like object that made a jangly sound. I guess that's the source of the noise then. Well, Mr. Justice, Mr. Filch says Tenma jingle jangles. Would you consider that vital information? Let's say yes. Extremely vital. I request that it be added to his testimony. If Tenma was to pass by, his staff would have gone jingle jangle. But something about that, because keep in mind, you see no staff. So let me go back and present it.
Objection!
Tenma staff would make a jangly sound, you say. Well, I'm going to say that your story doesn't add up. Is there something the defense would like to share with the court? Mr. Filch, you say that you didn't see Tenma on the day of the incident. Why then? Why did you assume just now that Tenma would be holding a staff? Huh? You see, Tenma Jinxie saw held a staff in his hands, and she described its sounds just like you did, as kind of jangly sound. Yeah, so he was holding a staff. What's your point? The point is that Tenma doesn't use a staff. Not normally. What are you talking about? You see, this is the only known document depicting Tenma. Is there a staff in that picture, Mr. Filch? You're right. There's no staff. Not even a cane or a walking stick. So the question is, why does the witness think Tenma uses a staff? I believe the answer will overturn the prosecution's case on the most basic level. Well now, this is getting interesting. All right, Mr. Justice, it's time to show the court where you're going with this. Please tell the court why Mr. Filch believes that Tenma Taro carries a staff. Well, because he actually saw Tenma Taro. It's the only explanation. Mr. Filch actually saw Tenma Taro right after the crime occurred. That's the only way he could possibly know about the staff. But busted again! Bloody heck, you... Wait, what did he just say? Go back. Bloody heck, you... Dipiculous, you... You duplicious little... Okay. Duplicious. I think that's what it's supposed to read. Yeah, I can't read certain big words. Though I don't... how does that phrase go? Not for lack of trying, mind you. Alright. Yes, how'd that feel, Black Quill? Not so fun when you're on the receiving end of the blade, is it? Admit it, Mr. Filch. You did see Tenma Taro that day, didn't you? Well? I'm begging you, please don't make me say it. But clearly you did see Tenma Taro. Stop stalling and testify to that fact. No can do, no way, no how. You got no idea how terrifying he can be. He? Mr. Filch still won't admit seeing Tenma Taro, even though everyone already knows he did. The question is now, why? Mr. Filch is scared to death. Is that why he can't admit the truth? Come to think of it. They say you must not gaze upon Tenma Taro, but in the event that you do look, and then tell anyone what you saw, Tenma Taro will claim your soul. Shinxi wouldn't admit to seeing Tenma Taro after hearing about the village superstitions. She said that if she told anyone that she had seen Tenma Taro, he'd claim her soul. But didn't she talk about it? Wait, you think Filch believes that too? So Mr. Big Time's Sadie Slicker lawyer has heard about him. Them old village superstitions. Will the defense please explain what the witness is talking about? The people of the Ninetales Vale believe some pretty strange things, and their superstitions may be the reason our witness here can't admit the truth. The truth that he really did see Tenma Taro. Darn straight, that's why. It's all right here. Wow, that's a lot of rules there. Ignoring the superstitions will cost you your soul. See? That's why us folks in Ninetales Vale, I can't talk about seeing Tenma Taro. Alright, so we get our next piece of evidence, the village superstitions. Now this I gotta read. Alright, let's see. Switching screens. Alright, village superstitions. Do not gaze upon Tenma Taro. Do not tell others if you see him. Ignoring the superstitions will cost you your soul. There is, however, one way to save it. Your immediate departure from the village. Freeing him will bring ruin upon the village. Yeah. Anyways. That clears up one mystery. The killer took advantage of the superstitions by wearing a Tenma costume. They knew that the way no one could talk about him, so it was as if he never existed. The defense holds that this Tenma impersonator is the true killer. What?
Objection!
Superstitions, you say? What kind of fool would actually believe such rubbish? And with that, using some silly fairy tale so easily expose the culprit? You'll need to come up with a more rational, common sense explanation than that.
Objection!
Your common sense seems awfully narrow-minded to me, Prosecutor Blackwell. Try living in my world of narrow cells, mortal danger, and dark sleepless nights. There is no lack of superstitions in the clink, sorry, but few are those who truly believe in them.
Objection!
Well, the village superstitions are real enough to the people of Ninetales Vale. A life or death superstition might even make you a believer. Rah! Order! Order, I say! You fool of a Tanuki. 2 times now. Your lies have cost me. Sorry, I promise not to do it again. Taka, my fine feathered friend, have at him. Yikes! He's gonna eat me alive! Head for the hills! He took off. But bailiff, what are you waiting for? After him, and with your fastest men. That's certainly not something you see every day. Huh. I agree with you there. Oh. Well, it would seem a new and important fact has come to light. Oh boy. A third party disguised as the Yokai Tenma Taro was at the scene. And now we have 2 witnesses who can attest to that fact. Any objections for Prosecutor Blackwell? Uh-oh. What? Huh? His shackles. I'm too young to die. Justice, Dono. Long has it been since I've been forced to draw my blade. You had best say your prayers. Eek! Wow, this is getting crazy. Really crazy here. Oh, okay, now I get it. Okay, so if the camera is far away, then yeah, there will be some slowdown. Well, far away from the courthouse. Now, if it's closer, and when it does the 360 moment, like the 180 360 movement, like from close by to where our characters are at, then there's no slowdown. Detective, do something! Have no fear, Fulbright is here. When the going gets tough, the champion of justice gets going.
Objection!
Then get going already before he kills us. Oh, but I stand in awe of Simon Blackwell, for it is his sense of justice that set him free. Objection! Objection! I object to Detective Fulbright's definition of justice. See, as it pans back,
Silence.
I'm not in the habit of cutting down unarmed cowards. Well, in that case, Prosecutor Blackwell, can I ask you to, I think the judge forgot he's in charge here. So, Justice Donald's assertion is this. Tenma Taro is the real killer, not Mayor Tenma. According to him, there was a yokai at the scene of the crime. Right. And that yokai, or rather whoever was impersonating him, killed Alderman Cuby.
Silence.
Care to explain why Jinxie, being the first to discover the murder, did not see your alleged killer yokai there in the Fox chamber? What? He's right. She said nothing about Tenma Taro being in the Fox chamber. Let me enlighten you. That a little scamp hearing a dying scream right before she opened the chamber door. And your point is? Upon opening the door, she found a freshly skewed murder victim, the alderman, and the homicidal maniac who had killed him, the mayor. No, there must have been someone dressed up like Tenma. Then why does that a little scamp claim not to have seen a yokai in the Fox chamber? Considering her father is accused of murder, surely she would have mentioned any third party that might not have been in the room. I don't understand. Why didn't she see Tenma Taro inside the Fox chamber? There is but one way to find out. Ask Jinxie Tenma whether she saw your killer yokai at the scene of a crime. So sorry if you hear any scratching noise. That's me scratching my head. Uh-oh. The final battle draws nigh. Only one of us will leave here alive. Long has my blade thirst for blood. At long last, it shall be sated. Wait, this is still a trial, right? Show me what you are truly capable of, Justice Dono. Very well then. Both parties no doubt need some time to regroup. So the court will take a 10-minute recess in order to. 3 minutes. I'm sorry, but a 3-minute recess? Just so, plenty of time if your destination of intent is to loo. The loo? You mean the bathroom? Sheesh, at least include enough time to wash our hands. See that you take no more than 3 minutes. All latecomers will be punished. Yes, sir. I hereby declare a 3-minute recess before the battle begins. I declare Prosecutor Blackwell the winner of this round of Simon Says. Doesn't bode well for us if the prosecutor is running the show, does it? Alright, so we're back at the lobby. Okay. He busted out his shackles. Yeah, and what was that all about? Guess they don't make shackles like they used to. Better be careful, Apollo. You've really brought out the samurai in him, especially after you proved there was a Tenma impersonator at the manor. What's with that guy and the whole samurai act anyway? Such fine swordsmanship. That is no mere act. Mr. Justice, it is high time I challenge this jailhouse prosecutor to a duel. No, wait! Let's save the dueling until after we prove your innocence. I suppose it could wait until later. Does anyone remember we're conducting a trial here? Athena, I'm gonna go wash up. Remember what Blackwell said, Apollo, don't be late. Alright, so we're back at the courtroom now. 3 minutes is never enough. But not for the player that is. But anyways, hopefully we're almost done here. So I'm gonna take a little break. I'll be right back. So, cut. Okay, I'm back. Alright, so while I was on my break, I was doing a bit of research concerning the, well, not concerning, well, trying to figure out the voice acting, like who plays, like who voices who in the English version. Well, okay, so as of course I was right about Phoenix Wright being voiced by Sam Riegel, but I mean, well, no buts there, but I don't know why I said that again. For Athena Sykes, she's voiced by Wendy Lee. If you don't know who she is, and by now y'all watched Power Rangers. Well, specifically the first season, or its first season revisioned or whatever. She voiced Scorpina, and among other characters, like other anime characters, but and as for the voice of Bobby Fulbright, well, it did sounded like Kyle Haber, but it wasn't Kyle Haber. It was some other voice actor. But Kyle Haber does voice a character in the Phoenix Wright games. Well, the first two. Well, this one and Spirit of Justice, and it's actually voiced by Kyle Haber himself. I was like, wow, that is amazing. All right. So yeah. I guess without further ado, let's continue on. Bottled water at the ready. We're back at the courtroom. Let's go. Now then, I believe our next witness is Miss Jinxie Tenma, a maid at QB Manor. I believe we can proceed now. If the witness is ready, that is. Rarihion, leader of the 100 demons. He really does exist. Wow, that is one well-polished trait. No kidding. See-through. Nice. The witness will show her face while in court, or her testimony would be inadmissible. What is it, my child? Be gone, a new Rarihion, leader of the 100 demons. Ho ho ho! You think I'm a yokai? Well, I was once known as a judicial monster of sorts. That's the first I've heard of it. The beast of the bar, the demon of due process, if you will. As I said, first time I'm hearing of this. Eek! My charm has no effect. The demon of due process. Not sure I can see that one. Now, you little scamp. Yes? I trust you know why you're here. Bags? Bags? Oh, that tricksy tanuki? Try the other noodle stand and go enjoy a big bowl of tanuki tail noodles while you're at it. Everyone's a comedian. No, I mean your bags, the ones under your eyes. You must have had trouble sleeping. Here, this charm will keep Azuki Arai away. Azuki Arai? The yokai that washes Azuki beans? The only thing needed washing will be your father's neck before I take his head clean off. Azuki Arai often keeps people up at night with the noise he makes washing beans. But if you stick this charm on your forehead, you won't hear him anymore. Is that so? Well, thank you. Looks like Prosecutor Blackwell got more than he bargained for. They're bad enough alone, but together, those two are just plain creepy. Your testimony, if you please, Miss Tenma. Specifically, whether or not you saw Tenma Taro when you discovered the crime scene. Alright, here we go. Witness's testimony. What Jinxie saw. Here we go. Did I see Tenma Taro in the box chamber? Well, when I opened the door, I saw, yes, now I remember. Yokai, right there in that room. Oh wow, she must be scared out of her wits. So, there was a yokai at the scene of the crime. Lots and lots of them. Wait, more than one yokai? Did Tenma Taro happen to be among them? I don't know. I just don't know. All I know is the room was swimming in yokai. Kasha, Nurikabe, Seto Taisho, Eek. They were all there. Well, this is an unexpected turn of events. We've gone from no yokai to a flood of them. This is ludicrous. You would have this court listen to this delusional little scamp's testimony? Your Honor, I believe her memory is simply clouded by fear. But a quick therapy session should erase her mind. With the court's permission, of course. What a fabulous idea. Please proceed, Miss Sykes. You sure you know what you're doing, Athena? She's obviously on herself. The trauma of discovering that crime scene and fear of testifying have her dazed and confused. A regular ball of confusion. Wow, the look of her face. She really is spooked. But my analytical psychology-based approach should be able to help. Analytical. or analytical? Analytical? Anyways, any objections, Prosecutor Blackwell? Shall we let Miss Sykes proceed? It makes no difference to me. Do as you will, but I doubt we shall get any viable testimony. She'd be better served by bearing witness to the sword skills I forged in a distant land. I'll show you. Say it the Sonic way, Athena. I'll show you. Alright, let's bring back the good old mood matrix. Well, for this case, this is the introduction. Whoa. Oh dear. Did I see Tenma in the Fox chamber? Well, when I opened the door, I saw... Yes, now I remember. Yokai, right there in that room. Found something. Looks like an out-of-control emotion. Athena, what exactly are we looking at here? Oh, this? It's one of Widget's functions. Right here, you can see images and emotions extracted from the witness's voice. Whoa, you mean that little thing can do all this? Pretty cool, huh? And here, I thought it was just some kid's toy. Don't let stuff like this fool you. If you've ever seen Spy Kids, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Unfortunately, all I'm getting is an overflow error right now. See how sad is brightly lit there at the bottom left? She's under an uncontrollable amount of distress, which is masking her other emotions. So she's sad. I mean, like, she's scared, but, well, it's not showing that she's scared. She's sad. It seems the sheer terror she experienced has made her a confused mess. So all those yokai she thinks she saw are a product of rampant emotions. Yes, that's right. Her fear is instilled in her hallucinations and false memories. She's seen normal everyday objects as monsters in her mind. It's a form of schizophrenic hallucination brought by an emotional trauma. And the trauma in Jinxie's case is fear. So she was and still is seeing ordinary objects as yokai. We'll have to find the root cause of her extreme fear before I can treat it. Now, let's see. Apollo, can you point out the yokai on the Wheel of Life? I mean, Wheel of Life. The Wheel of Fire? She seems particularly terrified of that one. Start by tapping probe on the bottom screen. Next, I'll point to what's causing Jinxie's out-of-control emotion. Finally, tap a probe again to try and get to the heart of the matter. Okay, let's give this a try. All right, so now I have to probe. Where? Okay, so Athena told me to point to the cat monster on a wheel of fire. if you ever seen Jew Ranger, I think that episode was also there, also adapted in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. But there was a monster. Okay, now I remember. Now it was the episode where Kimberly brought this this spinning wheel, the one for I think it was they were doing a play for uh, Rumpelstiltskin. And I think the episode was called Wheel of Misfortune. It was about that spinning wheel. Well, this is what it's based on. All right, so I'm gonna probe right here. Oh yeah, I guess I have to use the touch screen then. So here we go. What? Yeah, I it's because I'm using Windows 10, and then whenever like I'm on the right side, well, right bottom side of the screen, like you have like the news stuff, and then all the options, you know, for the volume, the internet, you know, the microphone, everything. Every time I highlight there, a big window comes up, and well, need to figure out how to turn it off. But I'll do that later. Anyways, Jinxie, what's the name for that yokai on Wheel of Fire? That's Kasha, a yokai that steals the bodies of the recently deceased. I bet it came to steal the aldermans. It's almost creepy as how well that fits the actual situation. Exactly. It's a form of hallucination where the patient can't see things for what they are. There must be something at the scene of the crime that she's mistaking for a kasha. Actually, I'm remembering something. Weren't there like chandeliers on the ceiling at the crime scene that actually do look like wheels? I guess I'll figure that out when I look back at the last part of video, or the for the in the investigation part. Anyways, Apollo, you need to point out what she thought was a yokai on a wheel of fire. I think I know the answer now. Jinxie, that wasn't a kasha you saw. There it is. Oh, I hit the table. Okay, so it is the that flame chandelier that she mistakes for the wheel of fire. Could you have possibly mistaken this for Akasha? Booyah. The light fixture? This one right here. It has a flame design and is up there on the ceiling. There was never a yokai on a wheel of fire. The kasha you saw was just a light fixture. So yeah, this is her little problem here. Everyday objects she's seeing now. She like for example that flame chandelier there. What she's seeing through her eyes is a yokai, specifically a cat riding on the wheel of fire. So any everyday items she sees, she thinks they're yokai. So yeah. But the thing is, what's causing her to even see these things? Hopefully we'll get more answers soon. That's one memory back to normal. Nice job. Now that you've got the hang of it, it should be a cinch to point out the rest. Jinxie, what about this white wall-like monster? That's Nurikabe. It's a wall monster that blocks your way or leads you astray. That's no yokai, Jinxie. It's a folding screen. And this a raccoon dog isn't a tanuki monster. It's just a statue of one. And look, these are just coffee cups, and this right here, it's nothing more than a fox statue. I don't know what I was. What did she just say? Time out. Alright, so her noise level is now at 50. I don't know what I was thinking. Okay, there we go. Yeah, as I said, keep in mind there will be text that goes automatically, or it just goes because of story progression, because of interruption purposes. All right, you did it, Apollo. Her extreme fear is under control now. Well, halfway. It was all just my eyes playing tricks on me? There weren't any yokai after all? See? A clear-cut statement. That's the power of my psychology and your intuition, Apollo. And just like we thought, there never really were any yokai in the Fox Chamber. Right. There never really were any yokai there. So the defense is asserting the exact opposite of their original assertion. Wait, Jinxie, what about Tenma Taro? There wasn't anyone there dressed up as Tenma Taro, or any other yokai either. I remember it clearly now. You've gotta be joking! So yeah, when it's like far from the actual court stage, there's slowdown. But when it's like zoomed in towards the court stage, then there is no slowdown. But for some reason, when the camera is zoomed out, yeah, there will be slowdown. But when it's like a close up, then yeah, there is no slowdown. So there's no way to fix that. Cause keep in mind, when I looked up a compatibility list for Citra, the game plays okay. And that's all it gave me. Like there will be some audio glitching. I guess that could be the reason. And from what I've heard for our next game, or our last game that we're gonna that I'm gonna be let's playing, which is Spirit of Justice, the compatibility list says that it plays perfectly, with itty bitty minor details, but it plays perfectly. All right, order in the courtroom. I think we just dug our own grave. Allow me to push you on in. It's the least I could do. No! Apollo, can I interrupt your freak out for just a minute? I'm still picking up some noise. It's an unexpected emotion. Does that mean Jinxie hasn't remembered everything yet? Exactly. We should be able to get something else out of her. I'll enter the new info we have and run an update. Oh, did I see a Tenma Taro in the Fox Chamber? I was so scared when I entered the room. My legs gave out and I fell to the floor. This one, for this statement here, the sadness is like much less. But let's keep on going here. Let's add some new info there. There we go. Yeah, so keep in mind, the noises that you're hearing, they have to play at the exact same time. However, if it's like if a certain emotion like is weakened, like you can barely hear it, that means something is up, and that emotion that's less blinking, that is the one you're gonna pinpoint. There in the Fox Chamber, I saw the alderman dead on a table, and Papa collapsed in a chair. Alright, more info. Nobody else was there, and that includes a ten Matado. Okay then. This one's gonna be a tricky one here. So which one is the one I should be pinpointing though? So yeah, this is the only one I can pinpoint right now, so gonna go right here to the sadness part, so the amount of fear you felt is rather low, despite your legs having given out from fright. Could something have lessened your fear? Actually, I did experience a sudden burst of courage at that moment. You did? Where did it come from? Let me think. Don't think. Feel. Oh, it was Mama. I suddenly felt as if she was there with me. Okay, I'll enter sudden burst of courage. Now, let's see. Ah, look. Alright, so her face has completely changed from scared to like she's gaining courage. So, what gave her that little ounce of courage? She was she thought of her late mother. Apollo, the noise is all gone. Jinxie seems to have remembered everything now. Alright, noise level 0. Mood matrix complete. Bye-bye. A sudden burst of courage. Now, where could that have come from? Jinxie, was there something that gave you a sudden burst of courage? Yes, there was. But I realized I had done something naughty when I thought about it later. Any idea what could have gained Jinxie that courage? Well, there is one piece of evidence that comes to mind. I wonder if she saw something like it at the scene of the crime. Jinxie, did your sudden burst of courage have anything to do with this? And thus we point to the Nine-Tails flower. Jinxie, you didn't happen to see a Nine-Tails flower there at the scene, did you? The demon lawyer strikes again. I can't hide anything from you. I found a small case with a picture of a nine-tails flower on it. I liked it so much, I kept it. A small case. It does look like a coin when you look at it. A wooden coin. You what? You can't remove evidence from a crime scene? That's right, young lady. Removing evidence is a big no-no. Now, the witness will produce said evidence this instant. Sorry. It does seem to be some sort of case. Oh, wow, that is impressive. Oh, look, something slid out. It appears to be a key. Might I have a look at your baldness? Ah. This is none other than the master key to QB Manor. Are you certain of this, Prosecutor Blackwell? It matches the serial number of the key that went missing after the murder. A master key that went missing? Why don't I like the sound of that? Our little scamp here has stumbled upon an article of unimaginable consequence. That's a little melodramatic, don't you think? Heed these words, for I shall say them but once. The sole key to the Fox Chamber has been in this little scamp's constant possession. Ergo, she was the sole person who could use it before, during, and after the murder, which leaves the master key as the only other key that could have opened the chamber. But this master key was found in a room that had been locked by this girl. And your point is? Until Jinxie Tenma opened the Fox Chamber with her key, the room had been locked tight from the outside world. And there was no one else in there, save the victim and his killer. I trust you have figured it out for yourself by now. A killer other than Mayor Tenma himself would be utterly inconceivable. No! How could this happen? The defense's assistant will refrain from growling her frustrations. Athena, are you all right? I know Mayor Tenma's innocent, but there's nothing we can do. This sucks. Sykes Dono, allow me to put you out of your misery. Can I decline your offer? Abandon your client and your misplaced faith in him. Let the relief of a clear head and a clean conscience come rushing in. That will make the inevitable guilty verdict far easier to accept. Great, now he's playing Simon Says with us. Well, he's not going to fool us with his stupid mind games. Athena, don't fall for his tricks. Now I'm the one who's dazed and confused. I can't even think straight. Hey, are you alright? She fell right into his trap. Now, I suggest you make a mad dash from the courtroom and into to the wild blue yonder. Only by running shall your mind be cleared, and your conscience cleansed. Alright, I'll be back in Stay with me, Athena. Don't let yourself be twisted by that samurai. Apollo? Mr. Justice, I heard the word objection, but what is it you object to? Huh? Oh, right. That objection was more of a reflex than anything else. Though I was hoping something would come to me while I was trying to stop Athena. The court is waiting, Mr. Justice, though as it stands now, I'll be forced to declare your client guilty and your legal skills suspect if this is it. Now, do you have anything that could overturn the prosecution's case? Well, actually, I do. I'm Apollo Justice, and I'm fine. Apollo, you do have something more than your courts of steel, don't you? Not really, but we'll be fine. But I've got absolutely nothing. But there's never, that's never stopped me before. I have to explain how the real killer could have escaped that locked room. Because it's all over if I don't. Apollo, this calls for a new approach. Try to think outside the box. Or in this case, inside the box. And what a doozy that locked room is too. Well, Mr. Justice, do you have anything that can counter the prosecution's argument? You bet I do. The real killer must have escaped from the locked room one way or another. Vague conjecture shall only earn you a taste of my blade, Justice Dono. Time to do or die. Literally? The defense will now explain how it would be possible to escape the locked room. Are you sure about this, Apollo? Can you really explain what happened? I'm fine. We just need to think this whole escaping a locked room thing over from the beginning. So, let's see. If the killer had escaped, how could they have done so? The choices are pretty limited. The room has a window, but there's no way to open it fully. So that's one possibility out the window. No pun intended. It doesn't open wide enough for anyone to get through, and there's a sheer cliff outside. Cliff outside. And as for the air vent, it's up too high, and there's nothing you can stand on to reach it. Well, if the only possibility I can think of is that he didn't. He came down from that air vent quietly. And while the two were asleep, the culprit plunged that spear and basically left through the front door. So the way the way the killer went in to the room was via the air duct, and he went out through the front door. Because remember, the doors are locked on the from the inside. I mean, the door was locked. Oh my gosh! Oh my goodness! I'm so confused. I'm so confusing myself. He jumped down through the air vent. Did the deed, unlocked the door and stepped out. There. There you go. That is a possibility there. And needless to say, the forbidden chamber wouldn't open no matter what we did. So that's out. Yeah. That whoa, I think it's supposed to say that why, or that's why we gotta keep the solution simple. Like they say, simple is best. We need to rule out all the absolutely impossible escape routes. Then, whatever's left just might lead us to how the Fox Chamber was compromised. Your Honor? Sorry, I had a message. Anyways, let's repeat that again. Your Honor, the defense proposes that the killer escaped through here. And that is through the front entrance. I think it's right. I gotta point it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't think you're supposed to point it like spot on. I mean, like pixel perfect, but just the way that it should be presentable. So it should be right here. The hallway door? Well, yes, I suppose that would be the only way out. It would appear you've already forgotten. The only available key until Jinxie Tenma came on scene was within that locked room. How could one exit the Fox Chamber and then lock it without a key? Well, how do you suppose Apollo went in the first place? When he went to discover that Rex QB was murdered. Someone went through the someone unlocked the door and stepped out and just closed it. Because how do you think? I mean, because after that, the door was never locked. So Apollo went in to see what was going on, and that's when he saw the body. I should have seen this coming. Remember, Apollo, keep it simple. Simple, right. I could understand if the killer had exited the room with the key, but... Well, Mr. Justice, the prosecution has some fine Japanese steel waiting unless you explain yourself quickly. I'm fine. I can explain myself. The reason the Fox Chamber's hallway door was locked was because the perp locked it from the outside. So how did Apollo go in when he discovered the murder scene? It was never locked. What if the room was locked from the outside? In other words, the killer took the key through the hallway, then locked it. Ouch! Consider this. The master key was found inside the tightly locked Fox Chamber. Any assertion that the key was removed from that room is a blatant contradiction of fact. Exiting the room before locking the door would require taking the key outside, but the key was found inside the room, which does seem like a contradiction. If only we could explain both. Like how the key could be inside the room and be used to lock the door from outside. Well, let's see if the defense can respond, or can a response, shouldn't it be respond, before Prosecutor Blackwell draws his sword. How could the master key be at the crime scene, despite the room being locked tight? Well, throw the key from the outside. What if someone threw it into the room from outside? You know, something like go out the hallway door, lock the room, and then toss the key back in through the window? That would explain how the master key could be inside the locked room. And where would you throw it from? There's a cliff outside the window. There's a cliff outside the Fox Chamber's window. Throwing the key in there, from there, is an impossibility. Oh, right. I wonder if the key could have been tossed in from somewhere other than the window. Somewhere other than the window? Could the key have been tossed in through somewhere other than the window? Other than the window? Well, the ventilation shaft is the only explanation, so... The air vent? Yes. The window may be out of the question, but the air vent's not. Oh, that's right. The Fox Chamber's air duct leads out into the hallway. That's right. The real killer entered the air chamber from the vent outside the Fox Chamber. Then dropped the key into the room through the vent inside of the chamber. That's preposterous. Oh, that explains how the key got in there after it was used to lock the door perfectly. Mr. Justice, I'm afraid I'm a bit confused. Don't worry. I'll explain it so even your Honor can understand. First, the real killer, disguised as Tenma, murdered the alderman in the Fox Chamber. Then, they fled the room through the hallway door and locked it. Next, they entered the air duct from the vent outside the hallway. Finally, the killer tossed the key into the room through the air vent in the ceiling there. All that was left to do after that was go back through the air duct and flee the manor. Well, Your Honor, could that be any clearer? Amazing! Even I could follow that. The judge seems pleased. That explains everything. The real killer was someone dressed up like Tenma. And there was someone else other than the mayor and the alderman in that room. Hey, it looks like that lawyer has beaten the... I guess I'll go back to the... I'll go back to where I was. To the thing. Alright, let's scroll up a bit. Hey, it looks like that lawyer has beaten the jailbird prosecutor. Whoa, that was a total turnabout. That massive forehead of his seems so much more attractive now. Ooh, looks like Apollo's got an admirer. Order! Order! Order, I say! Now that I've approved the possibility third party, I don't see how our client could be guilty.
Silence.
Of valiant effort, Justice Dono, but your final thrust missed its mark. Huh? Both that a little scamp and that tricksy Tanuki saw the yokai after it left the room. But then what? Did that irksome yokai simply go through the foyer and waltz right out of the front door? That's exactly what happened. The killer fled from the youch. But that is impossible. Without being spotted by the foyer security camera, that is. The electric eye here would have captured any pesky little yokai trying to escape. However, there is no sign of Tenma Taro anywhere in the security footage. What? Save for the foyer entrance, there is no other way to flee the manor, is there? I don't feel so good. Wait, I believe there is one other way to escape besides the foyer entrance. There's a large window in the foyer. It's possible to escape through there without being seen by the security camera. Hey, you're right.
Silence.
I like the way he said it. Silence. Yeah, get used to him saying that. It's gonna be like its main, like his main word. I mean, like he'll say objection, but his best line will always be silence. Must I point out every crucial detail to the defense? It seems you lack not only brains, but investigative prowess to boot. That is the cliff side of the manor. The only killer escaping that way would be a dead one. No! Wait, so the killer didn't escape out the foyer window? What the heck, right? Ha! I suppose your next proposal is the killer sprouted wings and flew off into the sunset. Uh-oh. I think I might have the perfect evidence on that. More on that in a bit. That would mean the killer really was a yokai. If only we had some sort of evidence that could point to a flying killer. Who's saying we don't? As completely far-fetched as it might be. What? You're saying you can prove the killer could fly? Cause remember what Athena gave us during at the beginning of her first appearance. Well, so yeah. Whoa! I thought I was the one with the cords of steel. Oh, I can't wait to hear this. Your Honor? What evidence do you have that the killer flew away? And thus we present the special edition paper. A newspaper with a photo of Tenma Taro soaring through the air. Take a look at this special edition paper. Tenma Taro, real or flight of fancy? What does this article prove, Mr. Justice? The photo in that article was taken shortly after the murder. Maybe the yokai in that photo is the killer shortly after they fled out of the window. Mr. Justice, you're not seriously suggesting... Oh, I'm serious. I mean, it all adds up. The killer disguised as Tenma Taro flew away, you know, by some way or another.
Silence.
It is your brain that has flown the coop. or flown the coop, that image is not but trick of the photography or some other form of artifice. Or artifice? Okay then, how about the Tenma figure Mr. Filch saw? It just vanished into thin air. Or thin air? No, there is a rational common sense explanation for that. That infernal yokai, our Trixie Tanuki, witnessed never reached the entrance. He, or should I say she, turned back before the camera's electric eye. She? I don't like where this one's going one bit. Now, the fact that we know the yokai had come from the Fox Chamber means that it was likely either Mayor Damian Tenma or his daughter Jinxie Tenma. However, we know that Mayor Tenma was already unconscious at the time. Not good. Not good at all. Do you understand the gravity of the situation now, Justice Dono? The falsified yokai remnants and the appearance of Tenma Taro were the work of one individual. And that individual is none other than Jinxie Tenma. Ah, no! Order! Order! The defense will stop competing for the greatest freakout ever. The little scamp was no doubt simply trying to protect her father. And it's no wonder that her superstitious mind conjured up this mad masquerade. Prosecutor Blackwell's assertion makes perfect sense to me. It's far more convincing than saying the killer escaped by flying out of the window. Did you truly believe this could end any other way? Did we fall right into his trap? What do we do now, Apollo? Our case no longer stands without a real yokai. If only we had one. Bailiff, seize her. It is time I interrogated her, as the samurai of yore would. Oh, wait a minute. Mayor Tenma? This farce is over. How does it feel seeing your own daughter accused of a cover-up most foul? Tenma Taro's true identity is... Now, Mr. Mayor, it would be futile at this point to claim you were the yokai. After all, you had been knocked out cold by a blow to the skull. Slipping into a yokai costume and roaming about the manor would be all but impossible. Consider this well. As it stands, your daughter will be arrested for obstruction of justice. But if you confess, the prosecution would be willing to overlook her little yokai farce. Confess? The defendant intends to confess? Wait! Apollo! Prosecutor Blackwell is up to his mind games again. Mayor Tenma, no! Don't fall for his twisted words. If you're sent away for murder, Jinxie will be left all alone. The real killer is... Mayor Tenma's going to confess unless we do something. But I can't prove how the real killer could have flown away. Caw. Look upon me and despair, for ripe is the time for my return. Uh-oh. I should watch what I wish for. Caw, caw, caw! Foolish mortals! I am Tenma Taro, the yokai you seek! Mayor Tenma? Silence! I am Tenma Taro, freed from the bonds binding me to the Forbidden Chamber. Behold, the return of the Demon King! What? The Demon King? Well then, I think it's time for me to take a vacation! The witness will, he will explain himself. Are you saying you're Tenma Taro? The yokai we've been chasing this whole time? Indeed, it is I, Tenma Taro, the one whom you seek, come to reveal the truth. This child is Tenma Taro, you say? Ha! What nonsense! So, Mayor Tenma is a yokai now? Caw, caw, caw! His body is now mine! So you're saying that Mayor Tenma is being possessed by you? And that yokai that Jinxie Tenma and Phineas Filch saw, and the one captured in the newspaper photo, those were all you? The accursed power of these warding charms prevents me from revealing my true form. Your baldness! Can this not be interpreted as an admission of guilt? Well, a confession by a yokai would be quite unprecedented. Be that as it may, the defense's case has been overturned. Huh? What? You claimed the yokai that little scamp saw was some third party? The true killer? The one who escaped from the locked fox chamber? But it was the accused all along. Ironic, isn't it? Your yokai turned out to be real in a manner of speaking. For the alderman's killer is none other than Mayor Tenma, and the yokai at the scene. That, too, was Mayor Tenma, or should I say, our dear Tenma Taro. The pieces have all fallen into place. How, Prosecutor Blackwill? It seems I must spell it out for you. Mayor Tenma killed the alderman in the Fox Chamber, which was locked at the time. He then removed the warding charms from the Forbidden Chamber's door, but then fell unconscious from the blow the alderman had delivered to his head. That's when his daughter Jinxie Tenma stumbled on the scene of the crime. The little scamp fled in terror, whereupon the spirit of Tenma Taro, freed at last from the charm's warding effect, took possession of the mayor. The newly freed Tenma Taro then fled from the Fox Chamber. So you see, the yokai Jinxie Tenma saw was her father possessed by Tenma Taro. But when we arrived on the scene, the mayor was found unconscious. How's that possible if he was supposed to have flown out the foyer window? Then what? Do you mean to say the maid of QB Manor, Jinxie Tenma, was Tenma Taro? Oh. Caw. That, too, is easily explained. Sorry, I don't know how am I supposed to talk when it comes to this. I flew about for a time did I, but presently tired. I made for the forbidden chamber, but alas, exhaustion took me unawares in the fox chamber, and I knew no more. It would seem that the pieces are still in place. Is Blackwell up to his tricks again? I don't know what to say. Is the defendant a real live? I don't know. So that rumor about Mayor Tenma is true? I knew yokai were real. You mean he really did kill Alderman just so he could release Tenma Taro? Order! Order! Now he's got everyone in the courtroom believing in yokai. It's Simon Says on steroids. He wants to convict our client any way he can, even if it means blaming a yokai. The proverbial ducks are all in a row. You should now have no qualms about finding the accused guilty of baldness. This is one of the most bizarre cases in my entire career. Otherworldly, in fact. Can yokai even be prosecuted under our legal system? Mayor Tenma is just pretending to be Tenma Taro to protect his daughter. Plus, I already proved how a third party could have escaped from the locked room. A verdict at this point would be premature. Since both sides have raised valid points, I have no choice but to...
Silence.
This is the dark age of law, where defense attorneys are not to be trusted. This is but a ploy to gain time for them to fabricate evidence. How will I sleep tonight, knowing you will not let the sun rise on the mayor's day of reckoning, Justice Dono?
Objection.
I won't fabricate any evidence. Then prove it by joining me. A night in the clink will ensure you will not succumb to temptation. How about I just promise not to succumb to anything? We have both evidence and a confession. The killer is this yokai before us. It is beyond dispute. A guilty verdict is all but... What's wrong with him? Prosecutor Blackwell, we have had enough of your hijinks. The foundation of justice is fair play, and you are in serious violation of that. What in the devil was that? Fulbright, have you tampered with my shackles in some manner? It seems you have found that quite shocking. It's my special jolt of justice device. Each press is a shocking reminder to behave. You shall pay for this. I, Simon Blackwell, Your Honor, you need not fear. I believe Prosecutor Blackwell will remain on his best behavior. A bit late with the reassurance, aren't we, Detective? Well, in that case, this concludes today's deliberations. The prosecution and defense will use this opportunity to further their investigations. This court is adjourned. Well, just when things were about to get worse, Fulbright actually steps in. Well, I mean, at least he made the save, but hey, whatever extends time for a trial, hey, I know that they're all for it. Alright, next time we meet, we continue on with the investigation. Oh, wow. Things have gone from bad to worse to just plain weird. Anyways, until then, everyone, take care and God bless. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, comment, and share with all your family and friends. If you're enjoying my content, consider subscribing to the channel, and don't forget to click that bell to receive notifications for new videos. Take care, and God bless.